Ms. Johnson, as a general matter, requiring a foreign national traveling to the United States to obtain a visa, how does that damage national security?
Thank you, sir. As I mentioned in my remarks, the VWP is a very important and significant counterterrorism tool. The security requirements under the VWP...
That's not my question. I'm saying, you're saying some people may be ineligible for the VWP. So my question is, okay, that means they would have to get a visa. So the requirement to get a visa, how does that damage national security?
So citizens of those VWP countries are suddenly treated as a heightened security risk. So what we've heard from our European colleagues in particular, just even yesterday...
Well, okay, yes, but why? I mean, you have some of these people in like Brussels and some of these jihadist-infested areas. I mean, why would we not want to treat them as a heightened security?
Well, again,
they are a heightened security risk, aren't they?
Well, these waivers are, again, very limited and very narrowly focused and would be done on a case-by-case basis. And again, at those categories of travelers we were looking at is not somebody who would just go to Syria to go visit, perhaps, and go attend a terrorist training camp. We're looking at, again, limited and very focused waiver categories that's permissible under the law.
Well, I think that the testimony alluded to, so under the administration's action with respect to the visa waiver changes that were enacted by Congress, they would allow somebody who was a national of, say, Iran and a European country who qualified under the visa waiver program, if that Iranian national was traveling back to Iran to do business, even though the businesses may have connections with the Revolutionary Guard Corps, they would qualify under the business exemption, correct?
No, that's not.
Why not?
So again, these are limited case by case. They would be focused on being reviewed. And again, these individuals are going to be screened against all of our databases, again, with information provided by the VWP countries.
Well, but I think that's the issue, is that the reason why you want someone to obtain a visa, I mean, if we're confident that everyone is a threat that's in the database, then you're right. There are certain things that could catch them at an airport. But the whole idea is, you have someone like Tashfeen Malik, she didn't pop on those databases. We were hoping that that visa process that she went through would have ferreted her out and would not have allowed her entry into the United States. And so let me just return just as a general, because I don't think I got a clear answer. Israel, not visa waiver country. Azerbaijan, Shiite Muslim ally of ours. Iran, they don't like that Shiite Muslim government. They're not on the visa waiver program. So how does it damage national security to require travelers from those areas to get a visa?
I'm not sure I understand the linkage with Israel and Azerbaijan.
Just there's different countries that we're allies with, sure, where their citizens have to get a visa in order to come here that are not under the visa waiver program. So my question is why not err on the side of caution? And if you require someone to get a visa, how does that fact damage our national security?
So again, these visa waiver partner countries, their citizens are being treated as a heightened security concern, and we're looking at not damage, we're leveraging the program to get additional information sharing requirements. We go and review examine their seaports, their land borders, their airports. We're getting more out of the visa waiver program as a counterterrorism tool than perhaps what we would be doing with a non-VWP partner. So again, I think that we're looking at the fact that we're treating these individuals as heightened security risks, and we're utilizing this waiver to look at a narrower group.
But I get,
and those countries may not cooperate with us as a counterterrorism matter if there's
which countries have indicated that?
Well, we've had a number who have been very concerned. Again, yesterday.
Which ones?
I've met with the Swiss, I've met with the French, I've met with the EU, I've met with Japan. They've all expressed concerns that, as Mr. Heifetz has mentioned, that they may actually choose not to come to the United States because they're concerned, or not go to Iran, or they might not go to Iraq, participate in a humanitarian mission because they're concerned about this, that they're being treated, their citizens are being treated as a heightened security risk. Our VWP program is going under, every traveler under the VWP program is going under heightened security screening, just like they will with visas. So I take issue that the fact that they don't get an SAO review, they do. They don't get an automatic ESTA just because they've applied and answered questions. Every one of those individuals are completely scrubbed against our screening databases before being issued an ESTA, and then those ESTAs are reviewed continually.
So, yes, they're traveling to Iran. Some of them are doing business with Iran. Iran is the #1 state sponsor of terrorism in the world. The State Department considers the government of Iran to be a state sponsor of terrorism. The Revolutionary Guard Corps is a designated terrorist group. So yes, they'd be treated differently, but aren't there legitimate reasons why they should be treated differently, given the circumstances? I mean, if Japanese citizens going to Taiwan to do business, the idea that that was going to affect the visa waiver status, I mean, I get that. But when you're traveling to Iran, given the circumstances, how is it unreasonable to think that that would be something that we would be concerned about?
Again, individuals from the VWP countries going and conducting legitimate business in Iran that's permissible under the JCPOA shouldn't be penalized or shouldn't be considered a heightened risk. Of course, again, we would do all of the routine screening on each individual to ensure that they are not a threat to the United States.
So you're worried about penalizing someone going to Iran to do business, even though that could potentially expose the American people to more danger. And I get, like, the visa waiver, the sharing of intelligence. I think that's good. But the bottom line is it is easier to come here if you qualify for a visa waiver. And if you're not in the database, I don't think that you're going to be able to be found out. My time is up. I'm going to recognize Mr. Lynch for 5 minutes.